my name's Caris Morgan. I'm 23 as of last week. I'm half Welsh and half Jamaican, and last season was my first season being a Welsh feather. Naturally, I started playing netball when I was in primary school, but I got introduced to so many sports at a young age. I was super active. So yeah, football, touch rugby, cricket, rounders, you name it. I just wanted the day off school. So yeah, but netball was one that I actually followed my sister playing. I have an older sister. I was the timid tag-along sister. So she joined a netball club in Cumbraen, where I'm from. And yeah, I joined a year later. So I was around 13 when I started. In terms of it being my favourite sport, I compete in athletics as well. And I started being competitive in athletics a year prior to netball. So those two for me have always been up there in terms of importance in my life. But I'm still competitive in netball. Athletics is more of a hobby now. So yeah, netball definitely takes the first pick for sure. There's one that stands out actually. I think I must have been 16. I went to Ireland to get my first cap in the under-17s after not making the squad the previous year, which was a massive achievement for me because I didn't give in, and I carried on and tried again next year, and I made the team and got my first cap in under-17s. And then 4 or 5 months later, I also got a cap for Wales in athletics. So the same year I had a dual international representation, which I thought at that point I was yeah, I want to do this long term. I want to be able to reach the highest heights. I want to compete at a senior level and represent my country at that level too. So. I mean, obviously it's no brainer that every sport is dominated by men. So it's kind of nice playing a sport that's predominantly played by women. It's a nice feeling knowing that if you're gonna watch netball, it's probably gonna be women. And I think actually we've flipped it on the head. It's almost like a 180 now with our mixed and men's teams coming through. Usually you'd have to watch men play first to want to be interested in playing the sport. But whereas netball, we're kind of unique in that sense where you'd have to watch women play first to want to be interested in it. So I think in that sense, it's nice to know that we've got really good role models in terms of female athletes going out and doing their business and getting the job done and inspiring other people to join the community as well. And then being a tall girl when I was growing up, naturally that's going to be well, for me it was an insecurity. I was head and shoulders above everyone else in my school, especially because the boys hadn't caught up yet, and I was lanky and I was skinny. But then, moving into the netball world, that's something that's super celebrated. Being tall is an advantage, and actually you look around and you kind of wish you were maybe 6'3" instead of 6 foot because everyone else is tall now. So in that respect as well, I think yeah, I feel represented. When you consider Wales as a country, we're not that diverse. I mean, you might consider Cardiff diverse, but then you look at other big cities in the UK and they have much higher diversity than we do in Cardiff. So the further away you get from that central hub, the less diversity you start to encounter. So pulling more black girls is going to be difficult regardless. But I would say changing the language around how we describe black athletes is important, especially in that younger age where they're developing that athletic ability. Often I feel black players, and this isn't just netball, but kind of across all sports, we get described as strong, powerful, fast. And although those terms are super positive, that can often make you feel you're put in a box, and maybe that you don't have the opportunity to explore other parts of being an athlete, like having leadership skills, good decision making, being called intelligent, or that you're a smart player on court. So although yeah, you want all your athletes to be strong, fast and powerful, sometimes it can feel that's all you're used for, and maybe that might put younger girls off because they sense that that's the only thing they're valued for, and they're not given the equal opportunity to kind of express themselves in different ways like other players might. So yeah, I think being careful about the language you use around this is particularly aimed towards like children, like, and young girls, like as they develop, like being particular about how you describe them and how you treat them and how you talk to them and how you communicate is important. Because it's such like a sensitive topic, I think as well, like now the age that we're in, sometimes things can come across like performative, like you're just doing things to check a box, and you know, as like the Black community, you feel that, you can tell when something's genuine, or you can tell when someone's just doing something not to like get cancelled. So I think it really comes from like people who are in the community having like good personal skills and like good people skills, because like if you're always genuine about what you do and you really care about the person you're speaking to or listening to or platforming, like it will always read as genuine. But if it feels like you're just, oh, here you go, you're Black, give you a microphone, or here you go, like you tick this box, let me give you a microphone and speak about it, like that's always going to come across as like not that great, or you're just doing it rather than wanting to do it. I think maybe that's like the key difference. But then when you consider like social media, broadcasting, platforming, I think a lot of that is like down to like numbers, figures and stuff, and it's hard to translate people's skills and feelings and emotions into like figures, and how do you get that across, like it's like the biggest question. But I think if you genuinely care about what you do and like the people that you're wanting to you know, raise their voice louder or let their voice be heard, then I think it will translate.